Welcome to another episode of the Entreprenudist Podcast, the place to hear real entrepreneurs and business owners bear it all. And we always do what we say we're going to do. We got a great entrepreneur in it. Somebody went from swinging hammers to getting into that SaaSpreneur phase. I know a lot of y'all know about SaaS, so we're definitely going to talk about that. Before we bring in our guests, this episode is brought to you by Shield Wolf Strongholds, a wealth growth and protection company. When it comes to estate planning, when it comes to retirement planning, when it comes to employee benefits, if your plan isn't Shield Wolf, your plan isn't strong. But now to our guests, right? Our guest, technical entrepreneur and best-selling author with more than 25 years of experience in the construction industry. As the founder and CEO of Permit Rockstars, he is leading the transformation of construction permitting through a powerful SaaS platform that automates paperwork, streamlines inspections, and simplifies lien compliance. Over the years, Fabian's leadership has been recognized by leading industry and business publications, including 2025, the Ultimate Tech Leader Award, Jacksonville Business Journal, the Financial Times fastest growing companies in the Americas, Inc. 500 fastest growing private companies in America, 2022, Build Magazine's high-end remodeling contractor in Florida, 2022, and Jacksonville Business Journal's 50 fastest growing companies. And that's for 2020, 2018, and 2017. He's not new to this. He's true to this. He is also the author of Breaking the Mold, Remodeling Your Way to Success, a best-selling business book that has sold over 30,000 copies across print, audiobook, and digital formats. The book has been translated into Spanish and Portuguese and is widely read by contractors and entrepreneurs looking to grow with greater clarity and confidence. With a rare combination of field-tested experience and technology vision, Fabian is redefining how the construction industry tackles one of its biggest bottlenecks. His focus on automation, simplicity, and speed positions Permit Rockstar as a category-defining solution in construction tech. Thank you so much for joining us today, Fabian.
Thank you for the invite.
You've been doing this for a while. Like you said, people that know your story know that you started from swinging hammers to now being a SaaSpreneur. Is there nothing that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started?
There are so many things I wish I would have known. But I guess the most important thing I learned over the years is to take action. You know, a lot of time entrepreneurs waste way too much time planning, defining, thinking, overthinking, and they never get to the action point. And they miss a lot of things. So, you know, I always tell my guys, guys, we have think enough. Let's do something. I think we learn a lot more when we're, taking action and doing things than just keep, planning on paper.
Oh, yeah. That is a key differentiator. A lot of people, they try so hard to be perfect. But, when you're growing up, like let's say if it was a family and they had a daughter, right? And the daughter, and they wanted the daughter to marry well. What's the typical two professions that a family typically tells their daughter to marry? Doctor, attorney.
Yeah, lawyer.
Doctor, attorney. And now think about that. Even an attorney calls what they do a law practice. A doctor calls what they do a medical practice. What I've discovered, and what it seems like you've discovered as well, is some people, they try so hard to be perfect that they never take action. Whereas even the biggest fields, perception-wise, that a lot of people think are the biggest fields, I think you and I know you probably might earn a lot more money in the home services industries, right? But even a lot of people say those biggest fields, even they know that it's practicing at being perfect. Is Is that what you share with your people? Hey, let's take action. Don't worry about being perfect starting out. We'll figure it out. Is that the concept, or is it something different?
Yeah, absolutely. Is having, not only the ability of taking action, but, it's also having the courage to fail. Because, a lot of people don't want to take action because they're afraid to fail. And that's what's stopping, a lot of entrepreneurs from moving forward is that fear of failure. And what I tell my kids all the time, failing is just a pre-step to success. I mean, if you haven't failed in your life once, it's because you haven't tried enough. So yes, for me, it's critical. And in this new company that we have now, Permit Rockstar, we were in development for almost 2 years. And we have created a product that I'm convinced, and now many contractors and other people are convinced, is going to change the way permitting is done. It's being done here in Florida and then across the country. But the problem that we have was, again, we fall into the trap of trying to get a perfect product before we go to the market. And so once that we were starting to meeting with our venture capital and stuff, they they were asking, what your customer think of the product? Because for us, the product looks amazing. So what the customer think? We don't have any customers because we haven't launched into the market yet. Why not? Because, it's not perfect. It's not 100% automated. It's not 100% AI centric or whatever the excuse was. And we quickly realized that, we were wasting a lot of time, instead of trying to get a perfect product, you should invest in that time in getting customers, getting to use the product, and they will tell us what we need to perfect, and what they don't care. And as soon as we started onboarding customers, we realized the things that we were concerned about they don't care at all. They didn't care this to be perfect in this and this, aspect. They care about the product, solving the problem and the pain points that they had. That's it. If that was done by, a quantum computer, great. If it was done by me, riding my bike to the city and, stamping some papers, they didn't care. As long as their pain points were solved, that's all they care. So action, I can't repeat it enough. It's just a matter of, it's not about perfection. It's about, getting things moving in the right direction.
Got it. And speaking of getting things moving in the right direction, a lot that point of failure that a lot of people end up not overcoming if they don't find the right solution is the bottlenecks when it comes to permitting. What's wrong? What's broken with the permitting process as it is now? And how are y'all fixing it?
So I've been a contractor for 25 years. And in that time, I spent way too much time dealing with permitting. We waste too much time dealing with permitting. So just for you to get an idea of, so this issue, I think we have divided in 3 parts. Paperwork, the first, a part of the permit process is paperwork. The second part is getting all your paperwork, including drawings and plans, and take it to the city for review. And the third and last part is once that you get your permit is get, through all your inspections, so you can complete the job according to code. So the first part, the paperwork. So we, in Florida, there are over 350 municipalities that can issue building permits. So there is only 67 counties, but 350 municipalities that can issue permit. Imagine Duval County, you can get a permit in Duval County, in Jacksonville, right? You can get a permit in Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Jacksonville Beach, Baldwin. They're all municipalities inside, Duval County. So imagine that multiplied by 67 counties, and you are dealing with 350 different municipalities across the state. Each one has a different set of documents to do the same work.
So
imagine the contractor, doing, when you're just working, let's say in this area, you get familiar with the kind of paperwork that you need to present for these different projects. But if you get a new job, let's say in, I don't know, St. John's, Palm Coast, St. Augustine, you're looking at a complete set of paperwork. So the first thing that we did was, get the paperwork across all 350 municipalities and digitize it. So we have all the forms that are out there. So if you want to put a permit anywhere in the state, we have the right form for you. If we don't have it, we'll get it and we'll digitize it so you don't have to fill it manually again. The second part is, one that you get the right forms. A lot of contractors don't know what kind of information they need to put in the forms, right? And so they start filling the forms incorrectly and they go back to the city and come back because they're missing half the information, right? So the second part that we did is, once that we got the form, we created an AI powered system that goes to the public databases like property appraisers and stuff like that, and retrieves all the legal description, ownerships, property types, et cetera, whatever information the notice of commencement and building permits are going to need, and pre-fill it for you. So you don't have to be researching the web and copy and pasting information and bring it back to your forms, which a lot of times you just make mistakes while you copy and paste and you're pasting the wrong information or in the wrong spots. Once that you have the forms filled, right, then you got to start chasing what we call the signature chasing, right? So now I got to call my homeowner and say, hey, what time can I meet you? So, you can sign this paperwork for me. And, that's this is a dancing game now. You don't know when he's available. You don't know when you're available. And now you set up a time. You drive across town, because nothing in Jacksonville is close by. It's always across town. You drive over there, half an hour, 45 minutes, get to the place, get your paperwork out. The customers start signing. Of course, they're excited about the project. It's not going to be a 5-minute signature thing. You're going to talk to them for a little while about something, right? And then once all the paperwork is signed, you got to go back to the city or to your office if you have an electronic system and record the notice of commencement with the clerk of courts. Once the NOC has been recorded, now you can put all your permits together, and now you are ready to move to the second part, which is the plan review. Now, the first part, I thought in my head that, I could get this done in an hour. And because I've done it so many times that, I got it down, But when I actually put a clock, and we actually got one of those GoPro cameras things, and kind of put it in the head of one of our guys and tape it to him for the entire process. So he got to the office around 7 a.m. They started doing paperwork. The first hour, kind of good. No phones, no ringing, no emails, nobody calling you. After that, your phone started ringing. Subcontractors calling, customers calling, vendors calling. Now your paperwork time, went from, 5-10 minutes to a couple hours, just because you got to do some other things in between. Now you coordinate with the homeowner, right? Now you go and do the dancing with the signatures. Now you come back, and so the entire process took 6 hours.
Wow!
From beginning to end. And so, how much is that worth in contractor time? How much is that worth?
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Someone's at the front door.
So, we're talking about, intrinsic costs of, $100 to $150 per hour. So that time is spent chasing paperwork costs that contractor anywhere from $600 to maybe $900. It's a lot of money just to create paperwork. A lot of contractors don't realize they're doing that. They are so used to just go with it that they don't realize that. The other problem is a lot of contractors, are not doing it right. They are just, they are getting the signature from the customer, but they are not notaries. They're notaries at the office. So they collect the signatures, they bring a paper to their office that is, the actual notary never saw the person signing.
Wow.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
So
you can get in hot water.
So exactly, you can, the notary can get in hot water right there. So that's one part. Now you just got over this. You send your stuff to the city. You're excited. I'm ready to go. Assuming that your paperwork's good, the city's taking, well, right by state law now, they have 30 business days. We translate roughly in 6 weeks to review your permits, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can review your permits, your plans in 5 business days guaranteed.
Wow.
So, it's a huge difference in time by the time that the city takes and reviewing plans and the times that we take and reviewing plans. Granted, then the city still has to go through the zoning process and whatever other admin stuff they had to do. But by law, they are precluded to take more than 20 business days. So you're saving 2 weeks just, minimum if you use a service like ours. And finally, the inspection. So the normal inspection procedure, it goes, you do a little bit of work, you're ready for your inspection. You got to stop working. You got to call the city or, set up an appointment call an inspection. And then the following day, you got to be sitting there on the job site, playing Candy Crush all day until the inspector decided to show up. You don't know if they're going to show up at 7 o'clock or 5 p.m. Sometime they're going to show up. And now the contractor wasted a whole day waiting for inspections to show up.
Yeah.
If the inspector is in a bad mood, then you're missing a few screws, then you fail. And then they had to do it again the next day. With us, it's a virtual inspection. So you just finish doing the work, you take videos, you take pictures, we set up a video call, we inspect the work, and you're good to go. You don't have to wait to the next day and wait for somebody a whole day to show up to do your inspection. So our paperwork takes, instead of 6 to 8 hours, can be done in 15 minutes. Our plan reviews, instead of, whatever time the city takes, can be done in no more than 5 days. And now our inspections can be done, within 5 minutes too. So we are getting contractors to start the job 75% faster. And we're getting to finish the job, even, close to 50% faster than they could do it before. It's a huge gain on time. They are saving a lot of time, and that time gets translated in real dollars. They can get more jobs done in the same time with the same people. They don't have to increase their overhead. It's the same people. So, that's, this is why a platform like this is going to completely change the way the permitting is done in Florida.
And that sounds amazing, because what you're saying is the average value of an hour for somebody, even if it's 150, but it could be less, it could be more, but that's still time that you're losing, that you could be doing something else productive. And I imagine somebody listening to what you're saying, like, all right, that's great. You're able to get the permits already from all of these municipalities. You're able to pre-populate, filling out all of these things, and you're able to submit these things, but a virtual inspection can't be as good as an in-person inspection. Have you ever run into anybody that says that? And and what do you say to that?
Actually, it's not true, right? So our inspectors has to go through the same certification that the city inspector do. In fact, our inspectors are professional engineers. Most of the inspectors of the city are not. They are, they have expertise to do this, and they got a specific license as building inspectors, electrical inspectors, or whatever else. But, most of them, they are not professional engineers. Our inspectors at this point of time, they are professional engineers. So that's one, they have a step above what is required, to do the inspections. The second part is, your eye through the cameras can see pretty much exactly the same thing that you can see when you're in person, right?
Yeah.
If a contractor is trying to conceal stuff from you, an experienced inspector is gonna, realize it quickly, right? And if the inspector cannot get, the things that they need to see in order to pass the inspection, it's gonna reject you. So it's in your best interest, like I told every contractor, say, don't send your guy to they do the inspections and give it a flip phone because, the quality of the camera sucks. We're not going to be able to approve you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're on this with you. We're not against you. We're not fighting against you, but I need to get the information. I need to approve the inspections as per code. So, I know, simplifying your questions. Yes. I mean, we can probably get, almost the same quality of inspections that we could do in person. But if we couldn't, for whatever reason, then we are not going to pass. We're going to request a physical inspection.
So there is an alternative. If for whatever reason the camera, for whatever reason you can't get what you need from the video, you do offer that option of actually physically coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we don't want to leave our customers, stranded in case that we can, perform an inspection. We're not going to pass it if we cannot see what we need to see and obtain the records that we need to obtain, we're not going to pass it, but we're going to offer the alternative. So, okay, well, now we had to set up a time to meet.
Would you say contractors not having access to systems like you have is the reason that they're not scaling? And is there any other reasons that they're not scaling that they could learn from you on how to scale?
Well, this is one of them. So I'm just going to give you two quick samples. So we're working with a generator company that they use, they sell the generator, they create the paperwork, they pull their permits, they schedule the installation day, they go set up the equipment, do the rough, they stop. Got to call the inspection next day. Either them or the customer got to be home, so the inspector does the inspection. Then they got to send the crews back to finish the installation, and get a generator working with us. We take care of all the paperwork. They sign the sale. We take care of the paperwork. We just call them, your permit's active. They know the permit's active. They schedule the installation. The same crew goes the same day and does all the installation, the rough, and they put the generator to work the same day. They don't have to come back. There is not two more days in between. So now they can sell double the amount of generators with the same crew because, they're not missing that extra day in between the first rough and the final inspection, right? So that allows them to scale, and they don't have to invest more money and bring in more people. It's the same people. It's just, you have more time available now. We have roofers that they don't have to stop mid-roof waiting for the inspector to show up. They can, do their thing. We pass the inspections. They can cover the roof on the same day. That allowed them to scale again. They don't have to come back the next day. They can go to a different job the next day. And for the rest of the contractors, systems. They gotta have systems. If they don't have systems, so they can bring new people and that people can run in those systems, they're gonna be stuck with. They are the only ones that know how to do something, right?
No, and that's because, once again, it all breaks down to time and your ability to take that time and use it for something else instead of just hurry up and waiting. That's what it sounds like you're saying to me. A lot of the process, the way it is prior to your product, is hurry up and wait.
Absolutely.
Do this and then wait. Whereas now you're able to use your process and do this. And I believe was something just codified into law that makes your service a lot more viable and credible?
Well, it was private providers were, legal for many years. But there were some municipalities where, these virtual inspection things weren't, very taken, like seriously. And since it wasn't specifically codified into the statutes, the Florida statutes, some cities were rejecting them. Now they can. This, starting in July 1st is part of the Florida statute. So, they cannot tell you, hey, you cannot use a private provider. Yes, we can. So we have been dealing with a few cities that still, trying to, it's like, hey guys, you guys made the code, let's follow it.
Just follow it. Like you did it, we just follow it. And just like a lot of successful entrepreneurs, because, you're fastest growing this, fastest growing that. First you sell the cake, then you sell the recipe. You came out with a book called Breaking the Mold, Remodeling Your Way to Success. What's that book about and what made you put it out?
Well, I had, been talking about writing a book for a long time. I really didn't know what I wanted to write. And then, talking with a bunch of people, they told me, you have a very interesting life, and, why don't you talk about that? I mean, all the things that you kind of learn. And then when I was starting to write, I thought, maybe I need to write about all the mistakes I made too, so, I can describe it and, with excruciating and painful detail, remembering all of that. And it worked, because I described throughout the book, I started with, I was a kid and all the way to now launching these software companies, and some mistakes and some things that I did well, and some things that I made mistakes, and what did I learn? So at the end of every chapter, I add some lessons of success, basically, so like a little brief and list of ideas and lessons, basically, that I think relate to the topic that we just discussed in that chapter, but it will help the reader to later come back and not have to read the whole or listen to the whole chapter again. They can go straight to the lessons of success. It has been great. It was a great experience writing it. I learned a lot about the writing the book, everything that you go through from publishings and printing and etc. Editors over the editors, audiobooks, and I mean I got a lot of experience in that thing. But it was really fun to write it. It has been great talking to the readers, getting across these people in the trade shows or conference, and it's so great when they tell you, hey, I applied this from your book, and it worked great. And, I would have never done it if somebody wouldn't tell me. So that kind of feedback, means a lot to me.
Is there no specific lesson that you learned as a tradesman that you apply now that you're a tech founder?
I don't know, there are many lessons that we apply from the trades here. One of the things that we also thought was pricing, The hardest thing for an entrepreneur, I think, and for everybody that launches a company, or especially service companies, what's the right price for my product, right? And it's not the price that you think is right, it's just, you've got to create a pricing strategy that, convey value above the amount that you are charging the customer, so the customer perceives, this as a great deal, right? And so the problem that many entrepreneurs have is that, before they launch, right, they're negotiating against themselves about pricing. Hey, how much are we going to charge for this product? $299. Oh, it's too much. What about $275? What about $249? What $195? They already lost $100 in their head.
Before they got one customer, they lost $100.
Exactly. Nobody told them it's too expensive, right? Before they talk to the first customer, they already reduced the price, 10 times. So that's a big lesson that we learned too, trying to, us is trying to establish in these prices, right? And how you fight against yourself, trying to set up or establish the right price to go to market. So that's a big lesson. I think many entrepreneurs might run into, and it's writing, trying to set out the right price to it. We decided to do a small market study, right? I mean, we didn't have a big budget, so there was only 100 potential customers, the type of customers that we went to, and it was done kind of guerrilla style. We will bring 10 people and take them to lunch and discuss, the product and the services, and throw some prices out there and get some feedback. And then meet 2 or 3 more in their offices, or talk to 3 or more in a trade show or something. So until we got feedback for 100 people, and when we got the feedback, we knew our price was right in the right spot to convey the right amount of value, right? So we were conveying a lot more value than we were charging for, and that's when we knew that we're going to sell. The product will sell well.
All right, that's good. And another thing that you can have a great product, but if you have terrible leadership, it can destroy even a great business model. And I met you through your team, your business development team. How important is leadership in what you do, and how do you apply it in your company?
I think it's leadership is everything in every company, right? It starts at the top. It's you're the person that communicates those values. What you want them to do for your customers. If you don't care about your customers, they're not going to care about your customers either. If you cut corners, they're going to cut corners. If you show up late to meetings, they're going to show up late to meetings. Everything reflects on you. And I think, leadership is extremely important, and leading by example is very important, even if it's a cliche, right? Everybody says the same thing. Yeah, sure. But it works, and I heard from somebody not too long ago that our job as leaders is not to be heroes, right? Because a lot of leaders think that they are the superhero. They had to, they think that they're leading a cult. This person told me that our job as leader is not to be a hero, but to build heroes. Mm-hmm. So we need to be the ones, building these heroes in our team. They need to be the heroes. And so I thought about it for a while, so everybody likes a little recognition. I like to be a hero every once in a while. But it's not your job. Your job is actually giving them the tools so they are the heroes, right?
Absolutely.
In my book, I also talk about the culture of failure. I encourage it. And they say, you're nuts? I mean, how you encourage your people to fail? Because that's how we learn, right? If we're not failing, we're not, trying hard enough. And I don't want people to hide their mistakes. I want them to show them to everybody, to the whole team. I made a mistake. This is what happened. This is how I fixed it. So now we all know, to avoid that and how to fix it if it happens to us, right? If you create a culture of fear that, if somebody give me mistakes, they're going to get fired, then, your company is moving nowhere because everybody's afraid to make mistakes. So nobody's taking risk. And whoever's making mistakes, they're hiding it because they know they're going to get fired. So on the book, we kind of talk about that a little bit. We talk about encouraging, sharing these mistakes, owning them, and then, finding the solution and then sharing it with the whole team, right? And that's how we learn and move forward as a company.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like you're encouraging a culture of extreme integrity and accountability. Is there any question that I should have asked you?
I don't know. I think we have a good talk. I think I talk too much.
Oh no!
I really love this subject. I think we are really changing the way that permitting is gonna, be done in Florida and across the country. And I think this will help. It will help a lot to contractors. Contractors are failing miserably. They're going out of business. Why? I mean, is it because they suck building things? No. I mean, they actually great tradesmen, but most of them really suck at running a business, and so that's the problem that they are having. They need the tools, they need the knowledge to get their business to be more profitable. And that's the way that I think we are doing our part to keep contractors in business, give them back some of their profit back, and give them back some of their time. A lot of, I have a bunch of contractors friends that, they're spending, I remember in Thanksgiving, the guy was checking on how some inspections had been done. Why? Come on, man, just put your phone down. Say, I can't, I had to be prepared for Friday. This is crazy. I mean, by using systems like us, contractors can reclaim, the time that they're wasting on all this paperwork and bureaucracy and, actually reclaim their lives.
Oh, yeah. I heard a long time ago, the best way to make money is by helping people make money. And it sounds like what you're doing is you're helping people make money by saving them time and pointing out the time that they didn't even realize that they were losing. One last question, Fabian. I met your team at the Northeast Florida Builders Association at a professional women in building event. What made you decide to join NEFBA?
I think they're a great organization. There is great people leading the organization, and our customers are there. This is like one of the I would say reasonable water holes where our contractors gonna be, right? And so I like the organization. I like the leadership team. Really good people, and I like it. The things that they're putting together so to make contractors' lives, builders' lives, make it easier.
Absolutely, definitely a great organization, the biggest builders association in the state of Florida. I'm glad I joined, and I'm glad I was able to meet you and your team. One last time, please tell people who are you, what do you do, and how they can get in touch.
Okay, my name is Fabian Videla. I'm the chief rockstar for Permit Rockstar. We automate the entire permitting process and simplify it so you don't have to waste time either with paperwork, plan reviews, or inspections. The best way to get in touch with us is through our website. It's www.permitrockstar.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Fabian Videla. This has been another episode of the Entreprenudist Podcast, the place to hear real entrepreneurs and business owners bear it all. I am your host, Randolph Love III. And remember, if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please check the show notes so you can see our beautiful brown faces talking to you about this thing, what we talk about. And everybody has their thing and everybody bears it all here. And I definitely want you to get in touch with Fabian. Thank you so much, Fabian, for spending this time with us. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.